Did you know that nearly half of all Americans have less than $10,000 saved for retirement? Shocking, right? According to a study by the National Institute on Retirement Security, about 40% of households headed by someone age 55 or older have no retirement savings at all. With numbers like these, it's clear that many people are in for a rude awakening when they hit retirement age. You might be wondering, why is this happening? The truth is, most retirement plans are built on shaky ground. They promise security and wealth but often deliver stress and uncertainty. Traditional advice tells you to save and invest in the stock market, but the reality is much more complicated. Stocks can crash, fees can pile up, and inflation can erode your savings faster than you think. In this video series, we'll explore why so many retirement plans fall short. We'll uncover the myths and misconceptions surrounding them and introduce you to value investing, a strategy that focuses on buying strong companies and holding them for the long term. Get ready to learn how to build a reliable income stream, avoid the traps that many fall into, and ultimately achieve financial independence. Are you tired of the same old retirement advice? Then stick around. What you learn here might just change how you think about your financial future. Chapter 1. The Big Illusion: Why most retirement plans are doomed to fail. For decades, we've been told to save for retirement. The usual advice is to max out our 401ks, set up IRAs, and rely on the magic of the stock market. But what if that advice is flawed? According to a report from the Economic Policy Institute, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 56 to 61 is just $21,000. That's not enough to live on. Clearly, something isn't working. Traditional retirement plans are built on assumptions, steady market growth, manageable inflation, and the magic of compounding. But the reality? Stock markets swing, inflation eats away at savings, and fees quietly chip away at returns. You can lose nearly 1% per year just to management fees, and that doesn't sound like much, until you realize that 1% compounded over decades is thousands of dollars lost. Another common myth is that retirement accounts protect us from market downturns. But in 2008, Americans lost nearly $2.7 trillion in retirement assets. And in 2020, the COVID crash sent portfolios tumbling by over 20%. These kinds of drops can set retirement goals back by years. Wall Street, of course, still profits. Warren Buffett famously said, "Wall Street makes its money on activity. You make your money on inactivity." This rings true for value investors, who avoid the churn of trading fees and stay grounded in long-term gains. Relying on Wall Street's version of a secure retirement plan is like building a house on sand. Value investing, on the other hand, emphasizes buying stocks in strong, undervalued companies and holding onto them. This approach doesn't depend on the short-term market. It depends on solid businesses with stable earnings, giving investors a better shot at reaching true financial independence. Chapter 2. Beyond numbers: The emotional toll of conventional investing. Investing isn't just about numbers. It's about how those numbers make us feel. And traditional retirement plans can be emotionally exhausting. Studies show that nearly 70% of Americans feel stressed about money, with retirement savings being a top worry. Behavioral finance experts like Daniel Kahneman have shown that people fear losses more than they enjoy gains. This loss aversion can lead to bad decisions, like selling in a panic when the market drops. Traditional retirement plans encourage people to stay the course, even when it feels like they're losing ground, which can be incredibly stressful. Herd mentality also plays a huge role. In a bull market, everyone's piling into hot stocks, and in a bear market, everyone's running for the exits. But value investors focus on intrinsic value, buying stocks based on the true worth of a business, not on its popularity. This approach reduces the anxiety of constantly checking stock prices. Overconfidence is another trap. Many people think they can outsmart the market, yet research shows that only 10–15% of actively managed funds actually beat the market consistently. Warren Buffett famously advises, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." Value investing embraces patience. It teaches you to look past the noise, holding stocks in companies that will stand the test of time. By focusing on businesses you understand and believe in, you'll be less tempted to jump ship during rough patches. Instead, you'll gain confidence and peace of mind, knowing your investments are rooted in long-term value. Chapter 3. Freedom from fees. Avoiding the hidden costs that drain your nest egg. Here's a truth most investors don't realize. Fees can cripple your retirement savings. The average expense ratio for mutual funds is around 0.5% to 1.5% annually. While that may sound small, it adds up. Vanguard, a leader in low-fee funds, estimates that over a 30-year investment period, fees alone can reduce your final portfolio by 30%. That's a massive cut. Retirement accounts often have layers of fees, expense ratios, transaction fees, advisory fees, and even administrative fees. For instance, the average 401k costs investors around 1% of their assets annually. A report from the Center for American Progress found that paying just 1% more in fees over a career could cost an investor nearly $100,000 in lost returns. Ouch. Value investing is refreshingly simple when it comes to fees. Instead of constantly buying and selling, you hold onto stocks for years, sometimes decades. This buy and hold strategy saves on transaction costs, keeping more of your money compounding over time. The fewer transactions, the fewer fees you pay, and the more you can reinvest in quality stocks. Let's take an example. If you put $10,000 in a traditional mutual fund with a 1% annual fee and compare it to a low-fee index fund charging 0.2%, after 30 years, you could have over $30,000 more in the low-fee fund. Small changes in fees make a big difference over the long term. Value investors also look for safe haven stocks, companies with strong fundamentals that grow steadily over time. Think of Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, or Johnson & Johnson. These companies tend to have low volatility and provide consistent dividends, making them ideal for long-term, fee-minimizing investments. As value investors, the goal isn't just to grow wealth but to do so without the financial drag of high fees. Every dollar saved on fees is a dollar that goes back into your future. If you're finding this information valuable, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This way, you'll stay updated with our latest insights on value investing and financial independence. Chapter 4. The Power of Patience. How compounding changes the game. Compounding is often called the eighth wonder of the world. But it only works if you give it time. The longer you invest, the more you benefit from the compounding effect. This is why value investing places such a big emphasis on patience. When you let investments sit and grow, you're allowing compounding to do the hard work for you. Take Warren Buffett as an example. He earned 99% of his wealth after the age of 50. Why? Because he stayed invested in quality companies for decades. As he famously said, time is the friend of the wonderful business. This is why Buffett never tries to flip stocks quickly. He knows that long-term growth multiplies wealth. Let's break down an example. If you invest $10,000 in a stock that grows at an average rate of 8% per year, after 10 years, you'll have $21,589. But after 30 years, that same $10,000 grows to $100,626. The difference? Time. Compounding doesn't just add to your investment, it multiplies it. Value investors focus on buying stocks in companies that have reliable growth potential. They look for firms with a strong business model, competitive edge, and trustworthy management. Companies like Microsoft, Coca-Cola, and Johnson & Johnson are prime examples. They may not promise flashy short-term gains, but their stability makes them ideal for compounding. The value investing strategy here is simple: don't chase quick returns. Instead, seek out companies that will grow steadily and consistently over the years. The more patient you are, the more compounding can amplify your returns. It's the closest thing to magic that investing offers. By staying patient, you also avoid the temptation to time the market. Studies have shown that missing just the 10 best days in the market can reduce your returns significantly. It's better to stay invested, riding out the highs and lows, and letting compounding work over the long run. Chapter 5. Building your own pension, dividend-powered income for life. Most people think a pension is a thing of the past. But with dividend investing, you can create your own income stream. Dividends are payments that companies make to shareholders, typically every quarter. And for value investors, they're a powerful tool to build consistent cash flow. Here's how it works. You buy shares in companies that pay reliable dividends, like Procter & Gamble, AT&T, or PepsiCo. Each quarter, these companies send you a portion of their profits. The best part? You don't have to sell a single share to earn this income. It's like setting up a paycheck that arrives without any extra effort. Dividend-paying stocks also tend to be more stable. A study from Hartford Funds found that from 1972 to 2021, dividend-paying stocks returned an average of 9.6% annually, while non-dividend-paying stocks returned only 2.4%. This stability makes dividend stocks an ideal choice for retirement planning. You can reinvest dividends to buy more shares, further increasing your income over time. This is known as dividend compounding. Over the years, your portfolio grows not just from the stock's value increasing but also from the extra shares purchased through reinvested dividends. Let's take an example. If you invest $10,000 in a company with a 3% annual dividend yield and reinvest those dividends, after 20 years, your investment could grow to over $18,000, even if the stock price doesn't change. Dividend reinvestment multiplies wealth over the long term. One strategy is to target companies with a history of increasing dividends, known as dividend aristocrats. These companies have raised dividends for at least 25 consecutive years. With them, you're not just earning income, you're earning growing income. Dividend investing allows you to create a self-sustaining income stream, which is ideal for retirement. It's your own pension plan, one that you control. And if you build a diversified portfolio of dividend stocks, you can weather market ups and downs with a reliable income source. If you found this series helpful and inspiring, make sure to subscribe for more valuable insights on value investing and financial independence. Your journey to a secure and fulfilling future starts here.